Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss further in using conditions, if else, and other conditional structures that we have in shell scripting. Last class I explained you about if else. I'll give you a small overview about if else and then proceed further. The if else is a conditional statement that is used in C++ like this. If there will be a condition command which will return 0 for success and non-zero value 1 to 255 for failure, depending on different type of failures. Now if it returns 0 for success, then is the keyword commands. These commands will be executed when this condition is true. It says the command returns 0 for true and anything between 1 to 255 for false. Okay, and these commands becomes executing only conditionally. Okay, now after that, there it is. Commands could also be put into simple brackets. When the commands are put into simple bracket, this is again condition command which will return 0 for success and 1 to 255 for failure, but we put it in brackets when the commands are slightly complex commands. If the condition command returns 0 means true, then these statements will execute here to here. Okay, I showed you some examples in the last class. This was if. Then you have the else also coming in. If the condition command is executed, this condition command returns true, 0, then these statements are executed. If it returns false, then these statements are executed. Else portion. Then portion is executed when the condition command returns true, and else portion is executed when the condition command returns false. Okay, you can also put square brackets here. Now let me tell you about square brackets. Let me open the Jamboard. Hold on. Batch number 157011. Hold on. There it is. Now, I told you that there are two types of commands which I have told you till now. As I can see here, I have told you about the simple commands like DAT, WE is a command which could be successful or failure, or you can use double brackets, simple brackets also. When you use simple brackets, that would mean that this is a slightly complex command. I showed you some examples also, isn't it? The third way I can see that I told you in the last class was using square brackets. When you use square brackets in with if, the square bracket means it's a comparison command. You are going to do some comparison like equal to. I am comparing string 1 with string 2. Remember, there is going to be a blank space before and after the square bracket and between the square bracket and the string, and then both sides of the equal to also you have to have blank spaces. If you do not put blank spaces before and after plus, then this will become assignment statement. But you don't want to do assignment statement, you want to do comparison, so therefore you have to put blank spaces. Okay, so these blank spaces are important here. If you not have blank spaces, this will become simple assignment statement. Okay, so let me put this point here about these blank spaces. Absence of blank spaces will make it assignment. Okay, so we should not do that. We must put blank spaces so that it is a comparison. Now talking about comparisons, what are we comparing actually? If you look at this example, we are comparing strings. Hmm? So is it that you always compare strings in shell scripting? The answer is no. No answer, no Nasir, we cannot do that. So comparisons. In bash. Listen carefully. There are string comparisons. There are numeric comparisons. And there are directives. There are three types of comparisons. In string comparison, you have string comparison operator like equal to, not equal to, then less than, greater than, less than, greater than. Then you have hyphen z, hyphen n. Hyphen n means the string has length 0. Null string means the string does not exist. Hyphen z means the string is of length 0. Then you have numeric comparison operators. Hyphen eq, hyphen not equal to, hyphen less than, hyphen greater than. Then you have less than equal to, then you have greater than equal to, then you have, that's all. So these are numeric comparison operators used in C++. Now whenever you use if you use if like this, if, now square bracket means you are going to do comparison. You have comparison variable 1 and value stored in variable 2. You have to compare. Very first thing you do is you put blank spaces here, blank spaces here, blank spaces here, blank spaces here, blank space here. Now what is the operator you are going to put here? Operator. What comparison operator are you going to put here? Well, let's see what are the options we have. Suppose you put equal to. So you put a equal to operator. Equal to operator means you are going to do string comparison, that is the value stored in var1 and the value stored in var2 will be treated as strings and will be checked for equality. Okay, will be treated as strings and will be checked for equality. But instead of equal to, you put here hyphen eq, this one. Then the value stored in var1 and the value stored in var2 will be treated as numbers and will be checked for equality. So what I mean to say is something very important statement. There are no data types in bash. Fine. Everything is by default treated as string. Fine. But when it comes to comparison, then depending on operator used, like equal to or hyphen EQ, depending on the operator used, so depending on the operator used equal to or hyphen EQ, the contents of the variable could have different interpretation. Means whatever is stored in the variable var1 var2, if you have used the equal to sign, then the contents of var1 var2 will be treated as a string. If you have stored hyphen EQ, then the contents of var1 var2 will not be interpreted as strings. Instead they will be interpreted as numbers and it will have different interpretations. So C की तरह यहाँ data type declare करने की जरूरत नहीं है. There is no need to declare data types just like you did in C. Instead, there is no data types in C in bash scripting. Instead of data types, you have interpretations. Now, depending on the operator used, you will have corresponding interpretation. I hope you are able to understand how you can do numeric comparison or how you can do string comparison. That is what is given here. When you use square brackets, notice there is a blank space here. After square bracket, there has to be a blank space. Now, whenever you have square brackets, square bracket along with the blank will be a macro, and then square brackets means if is going for comparison. Means if you use square brackets means there is going to be a comparison command. What follows next is some kind of comparison. Okay. Now there are three types of comparisons. As I told you, the first, the numeric comparisons, where you will have the directives use hyphen EQ greater than equal to, hyphen greater than, hyphen less than equal to, hyphen less than, hyphen not equal to. Or you can do string comparison for equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than, and not string, zero string. Okay. And then you can use it like this. If test condition, this is another condition, else if. Means if there is condition, if true, execute this. Else if another condition, you can put another condition using ELIF. Okay. If this condition is true, then execute this. If this condition is also not true, then you go to the else and execute this part. Another condition. If, then else if, else if. So let us have a look at some examples where you use numeric comparisons. Here. Have a look at this example here. In this example, I have used a command called DATEE. Now DATW is no command, it does not exist. It's a command not found error will come. So the command not found error will be printed on the screen, and then the command will return failure. Okay, so you'll go to DATW is not working. You notice when I execute this if statement, then first the command will be executed, the error message will be printed on the screen, and then the exit code of the DATW will be stored in environment variable ? When if will check the exit code of DATW in the environment variable ? It will find a non-zero value 127 invalid error. Invalid execute means it's a command not found and it's an error. So if will go to the else part because the if will turn out to be false. See how it runs. Here you see. First you have the error message because the DAT command not found. Then it says DATW not working and script end. Isn't it? So this is one example of how if else works. Let's have a look at another command. Here I have used brackets, simple brackets. Now the DAT command will just like before execute, produce the output will be printed. After the output will be printed, its exit code will be stored in environment variable ? And you will see in the environment variable ? that because the command has executed successfully, so in the environment variable ? you will have 0 stored. That 0 will be interpreted by if as truth. That is, the command is executed successfully and if condition is true, so it will print date worked. Notice the introduction of brackets. Though date is not a very complex command, but brackets are used when you have complex commands. There it is. Script begin. This is the command. Date worked. Command executed, and the output of the command is printed. See here, the output of the command is printed, and then if condition interpreted 0 in the environment variable ? And if condition sees there is 0 and 0 is true for if, so it says prints then part date worked. Isn't it? That's how it works, right? So let's go to another example. Here I have a command LSS. Now LSS is no command. It will definitely give error, command not found, and it will return command not found error number 127 to environment variable ? The error message command not found will be printed on screen and exit code will be stored in ? If we'll check ? environment variable, and in that ? environment variable it will find error value 127, and then that 127 will be interpreted by if as false, and it will come to the else part and it will print the else part LSS return false. Okay, let's see how it runs. Here is an example execution. See, it says LSS command not found, the error printed on the screen, and the exit code stored in ? which is interpreted by if as false, and it prints LSS returned false. There it is. Easy, isn't it? Another example. Here I have a string A test string. I have another string B test string. Now I am doing comparison. Look at this square bracket and blank space. The square bracket and blank space explains that this is going to be some comparison command, and that if will be doing some kind of comparison. Now the equal to sign here explains that you're going to do string comparison. So the string in str1 and string in str2, these two strings will be compared, and I can see that is a string, B string, so not equal. So this will be false, and it will go to the strings are different. Let's try to run this simple example. If you don't understand any example, ask me immediately. The strings are different is printed, and you see that the equal to sign has compared the two strings blank space equal to blank space, and this was a comparison command. This was understood by square bracket and blank space, which together makes up a comparison macro. Okay, here you see another string echo will print an empty line. Read, I'm going to read something. Whatever I'll read will come from keyboard, will come from standard input stream, and will be stored in str1. But before you can read and store something in str1, before that I have given -p for prompt. Okay, let me explain this to you in little more detail. Here. Now, how does this read work? Read command. This read command will read input from stdin, standard input stream, and store it in variable str1, this one. Okay, now what is this -p doing here? -p, this is prompt. Option for prompt. That is before the input is taken by read, it prompts the user with prompt string. This is the prompt string. Okay, prompt string. So what will happen is, it will read data from stdin and has to store it in str. But before reading data and storing it in str, it will print enter first string. This is the prompt for the user. So enter first string will be printed, and then you will enter data that will be read by the read and store it in str. So this is the prompt. -p means prompt, print to the user, ask the user. So it will give the prompt to the user, and this is another string, again read in str2, but reading before reading str2 you take the prompt. Then just like before, you using the comparison macro, string comparison, compare the value stored in str1 with str2 and give the result. Let me execute this script for you. Here it is. Enter first string, good morning. Enter second string, good morning. See, there is a capital M and the small m. It says the both strings are different. Okay, but if I execute like this, hello and hello both strings are same. So this is how the string comparison happens. Okay, let us look at another example. Oh, is the echo. Is it morning? Please answer yes or no. So you will answer either yes or no and store it in time of day variable. Time of day is the name of the variable. After that, look at this string. Line number 5. I have if blank space. Square bracket blank space means comparison macro. I am comparing the value stored in time of day. Blank space equal to blank space means string comparison with yes. If you have entered yes, it will say good morning. If you will enter anything other than yes, it will answer good afternoon. Print good afternoon. Let me show you this. Let's see. Is it morning? Please answer yes or no. I say yes, it says good morning. If I say no, it says good afternoon. If I say don't know, it says good afternoon, because don't know was anyway not equal to s, so it was not yes, so it was anything else is false. If you execute the last program without hyphen p, this one without hyphen p, then it will not be able to give you prompt. Instead it will give you error. Error, enter for string. This is not understood as a valid argument to read. Okay, let us have a look at another example. Here it is. Is it morning? Please answer yes or no, and you say whatever you say, store it in variable time of day. Then you check if blank space square bracket blank space, this square bracket and blank space becomes a macro. The value stored in time of day is being blank space equal to blank space string comparison with yes blank space square bracket. Okay, it's going to be string comparison. If you have entered yes, it will say good morning. ELIF, else if. Another comparison, blank space square bracket blank space. It's a comparison. Time of day blank space equal to blank space means string comparison with no blank space over. Now if it is no, you will say then good afternoon. Else, matlab yes bhi nahi hai, no bhi nahi hai, to you will say sorry, whatever you have entered will be printed, not recognized, enter yes or no. So this is a better program. Okay, better script. Let's try to run this. Here it is. Please answer yes or no. I say yes, it says good morning. If I say no, it says good afternoon. If I say capital YES, it says capital YES not recognized, answer yes or no. So this is how the conditions are used in shell scripting. Let us have a look at another example. Read, prompt, print, enter first value, then read the value in val1. Read, prompt, print, enter second value, then read the value in val2. So we have value in val1 and we have value in val2. Now if blank space square bracket blank space, this square bracket blank space explains that this is going to be comparison command. So you are comparing the value stored in val1 with blank space gt blank space means numeric comparison, comparing with number 5. Okay, if val1 is equal to 5, then you will say that test value val1 is greater than 5. We are checking for greater than 5. Otherwise, if val1 is equal to val2, again you see if blank space square bracket blank space, this square bracket and blank space will be treated as comparison macro. So val1 is blank space equal to blank space compared numeric comparison with val2 blank space square bracket. If both are same, you will say the values are same, otherwise the values are different. So let's try to run this script. Enter first value 6, enter second value 6. So it says the value 6 is greater than value 5 and the values are equal. This is printed because the 6 was greater than 5 and then 6 was equal to 6. isn't it? So this is how you do numeric comparison in if conditions. Another example, you have taken the two values by giving the prompt read, but before that gives the prompt. This is the prompt: enter first value, then store the value, read the value and store it in val1. Read, but before that give the prompt. Prompt is enter second value, and whenever the value will be entered will be stored in the variable var2. Then after that you are comparing if blank space square bracket blank space. The square bracket blank space explains that this is going to be comparison macro. The value stored in variable var1 will be blank space gt blank space. So this is going to be numeric comparison greater than with 5. Blank space square bracket open. Blank space and blank space. This and is a and bitwise logical and operator. Okay, means this condition and this condition. Again, blank space square bracket blank space means there is going to be another condition. This blank space and square bracket and blank space will explain that this is going to be some kind of comparison. Now the value stored in val1 is going to be numeric comparison with 10. So if this condition is true and this condition is also true, then the whole condition for if will be interpreted as true. Then you'll say the test value var1 is greater than 5 and is less than 10. If one condition is true but the other condition is not true, false, but it is false, then the if condition will evaluate to be false. Then this is just equating val1 and val2. So let's run this script, and if you don't understand, please ping me immediately. So this is another string. I enter 7 and 7, both the values are 7. The test value 7 is greater than 5 and less than 10. So this is both the condition turned out to be true, therefore this statement was printed, isn't it? So introduction to logical and multiple conditions, one condition here and one condition here. You can club conditions using and operator or operator, both. Here it is. I have a variable test user in which I store rwt root. Now line number 5, if blank space square bracket blank space. This square bracket and blank space is a macro which is going to do string comparison, some comparison. I'm comparing the value stored in USER. Now what is this USER? This USER is an environment variable, okay, in which the current logged in username is always stored. Username is stored, okay. I'm comparing the username with test user, that is the username I have supplied. So if here you find root, means currently you have the root user logged in, then you'll say welcome username, you know. So let's see. Oh, it says welcome root, welcome username. Another example here, directives. This is something I didn't tell you till now. I'll tell you now. The directives. There is another way of using if condition. The another way of using if condition is through the directives, like this. If, then directive, file, not file exactly, name, okay, this is it. Now this if is a keyword. What is this directive? Well, directive are various directives like at -d, ef, -d, -e, hyphen F, then you have RSWX, hyphen R, hyphen write, hyphen execute, like this. These are directives, and these are file name, or directory name. Okay, either of the two things. Okay, how it works is like this. If hyphen D, file name. Now what is hyphen D? Hyphen D is a directive. Check if file exists and is a directory. Then it will return true, otherwise false. Hyphen E, check if file exists and is a file, then return true, otherwise false. Hyphen F file means check if file exists and is file. Okay, then it will return true. Similarly, hyphen R means if the file have read permission. Hyphen S means the size. F means size. Check if the file is not empty, it is return true. Hyphen W means if the file have write permission. Hyphen X means execute. Check if file has execute permission. Hyphen O for ownership. Check if the file exists and is owned by the current logged in user. Then you have hyphen G, this is a group, G for group. Check if the file exists and the default group is same as the current group who is logged in. NT, newer than. If file 1 is newer than file 2, return true. OT, older than. If file 1 is older than file 2, return true. So this is how these directives are used. So if you look at our current example here, in this example I am chasing test test. Test is the directive which is used, and the directive name is hyphen E. We are checking exist. Hyphen E means exist. If test file exists, it is true, otherwise false. So if the file with the name test file does not exist, this whole condition in line 3 will become false, and control will jump to else part. It will say not found. But if the test file is found in the current directory, then you will execute the then part, and the then part will say that the file is found. If the file is found, then you will come here and you will print test file exists. Then you are checking if hyphen F means test file is a file, then you will say test file is a file. Else if agar file nahi hai to test hyphen D directory, test file is a directory, then you will say test file is a directory. Okay, so this is how the directives are used for file, for directory, for exist, for read permission, write permission, execute permission, and various other directives. See how it runs. Let us see, do we have test file? हाँ, test file तो पड़ी है ना? So let us run and see how it works. Test file exists and test file is a file. Test file is file. Right? So this is how the directives are used with if. This is interesting. Count is a variable in which I store 3. Tell me, the 3 that we have stored in count is a number 3 or is a character 3? Character 3, very good. I say enter your password. Now I'm going to enter password. Whatever password we enter. Then you will compare if blank space, square bracket, blank space. Square bracket and blank space means it is going to be comparison. I am comparing whatever password we have entered. Blank space equal to blank space means string comparison with double quotes, string constant. Secret word capital S, capital W. If I have entered secret word, then the strings will be equal, and you will say welcome to the beautiful world of engineers. But if your password is wrong, it will go to the else part, it will say incorrect password, and the count variable in which you had stored character 3, this character 3 is being decremented. How can you decrement a character? Well, look at this syntax. Dollar, square bracket, blank space. Dollar, square bracket, blank space. Did you see this? This is a macro with 3 characters. Dollar, square bracket, blank space is a macro. It interprets the following command as an expression. Means whatever you have following command is not some ordinary bash command. Instead, what will be here will be, this is an expression, use dollar with variables. This will be interpreted as an arithmetic expression, and the values will be treated as numbers, not strings. Square bracket with blank space. This has no special meaning. It is here only for completeness. For example, look at this. $var is equal to $var1 plus $val2. So dollar, square bracket, blank space together have ensured that what follows in blue is not going to be a bash command. Instead, it is an expression. Okay, so this is an expression. Okay, so let us look at our program. So when we do dollar, square bracket, blank space, means what follows is an expression, and the variable values will be treated as numbers, not characters. So this is 3 minus 1 will give you 2, and in the count you will store 2. 1 incorrect attempt to password. Now you compare. The value stored 2 is equal to 0. No, not equal to 0. So this part will not be executed. Okay, and let's see how it works. Team. There it is. Enter password. I say secret word. These are not capital letters. It says incorrect password, and the expression also works, and it goes out. You can give another attempt that we'll do in the coming examples. So this is how the expressions are used in shell scripting, and which are by default considered to be string could also be considered to be numbers. Another example. Test user Pravjot. Okay, fine. If grep. Now grep is a command. The grep command means general regular expression. To know more about grep, you use man, G-R-E-P. Man grep means general regular expression. It's not given here. It means general regular expression. What it will do is, it will go inside the file. See, grep command is given like this, grep file name. So grep command will go inside this file name. Go inside the file name and search for this pattern inside the file name. Means it will find if this pattern is available in this file or not. If yes, then give that line. Okay. For example, here we have so many files. Okay. Suppose this. Here we have so many files. I want to check. Do you have echo in 20.log file? So you will do grep echo in 20.log file. Oh yes, we have echo. So it says echo is there in one line, and the whole line is printed. Echo log file name. Yeah, we have it. So the grep command searches this string in this file. So in my case, grep command will search this string Pravjot. in this file etc password. Oh, this is slightly complex for you right now, and I'm out of time. So what I'll do is I'll continue this in the next class with you guys. Remind me that we have to start from example number 16 in the next class. Remind me this, okay? Bhul mat jana. So I don't want to miss it, and I will do it in the next class. Next class is going to be on next Saturday, right? Next Saturday again we have decided that our classes will be on weekends, and that will be on Saturday evenings. मेरे को कल समझ में आया that Saturday evening is a very dangerous time. है कि नहीं? Saturday evening को कोई ना कोई आ जाता है. जैसे कल आ गया था. So next Saturday evening also 9 to 10 you have session, but I hope that nobody comes, and we'll have our next session in this, and here let me make a note here about this class. Note. In if else we need to start from example. This onwards. Okay, so next session we'll have on 10th of July, which is the Saturday, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. and we have taken a note also about what we have to do. Okay, I hope everybody is able to understand shell scripting and you're doing well. Intentionally I am not giving any assignments in this because you will be using shell scripting very frequently with your projects. So that's all I have for you. Thank you very much.